We're Steph and Bo. Today we'll be sharing 10 things not to do if you want to travel to Australia.
Hi guys!
Hi! As you can see, we're in our van right now, but it hasn't always been the case. We're going to talk to you today about how it all started, how we got the idea of buying a van, and it all started in Australia, in the big land down under, land of Oz.
The land of Oz.
So today we're going to give you some advice on actually how not to do it, because we had so much bad luck in Australia, more than now. Like, and you'd be surprised because he's in a brace right now.
Yeah.
Broken cars, we got sick a lot, we got robbed, like a lot of stuff happened. We're going to talk to you about all of it today, so you know what things you should avoid if you want to go travel to Australia, which you totally should, because it's an awesome country. The first mistake you should totally avoid making is buy a crappy car. Don't do it. We got 3 different cars, and one of them was really bad. We put so much money in it and it kept failing us. We had to be towed away. There was even coming some steam out of the engine at one point, so we were totally freaking out about that. So don't buy a Jeep from 1994.
Be aware what you're buying, and if you're going to buy a second-hand car, open the hood, guys. Just open the hood, even if you don't know what you're looking for. If you see like there's a lot of oil stains in the engine, that's probably a signal of, yeah, there's something leaking in there. Just look for signs that aren't really normal, for like if there's a lot of rust in there, for example. Yeah, be aware of that.
Also look for brands that are really reliable. Toyota, Mitsubishi. Try to avoid the Jeeps because they're not Australian and they're really hard to fix because they don't have the right components there to fix them. Car insurance, health insurance, travel insurance, roadside assistance, off-road assistance.
When you're going off-road, literally not on the road, but off the road into nature, and you're having car trouble there, because it's not because you buy a Jeep and you have insurance in general that you just can say, oh, I'll go off-road, and then before you know, you're stuck on a mountain, and then you think, holy smokes, how the heck did we get out of here? And then we're like, holy crap, we got that literally. Our engine blew. Sometimes when you're going with your Jeep off-road, it's not only mud, but you're also crossing waters. If you have road assistance and they got to tow you away, that vehicle that needs to tow you away needs to be able to reach you.
And also health insurance. So what you can do, if you're European, you normally have a European assistance card. You should totally take that with you, and then you can get Medicare for free. So that means that all basic doctor's appointments, all these things are covered by your insurance, actually by the Australian government. I got sick a few times. I'm blaming the air conditioning. So don't work below minimum wage, guys. It's really important. If you're going in a working holiday visa, which we did, we once got a job on an apple farm and we didn't get paid by the hour, but we got paid by the amount of apples we picked. So we just left, get out of there, and then we got on the Facebook groups. I found a really good job as a farmhand for Steph and me as an au pair, and we saved up loads of money after a few months.
So basically we had a rooftop tent, but before that, a tent that we bought from Kmart. Be aware of that, because those things aren't really water resistant. We even had to buy a tarp at some point because it just got pouring so much. So yeah, another really important thing is you need a battery charging system. We bought a Goal Zero and a Goal Zero Yeti 400, so we could charge our battery Goal Zero and then basically charge our phones, our laptops, and do some stuff remotely. And last but not least is fridges. Fridges are really important because it's really hot in Australia and you want to have a decent fridge if you want to drink something cool. Whew, all right.
Don't get robbed. It's an important one.
Yeah, because we had that literally in a hostel.
In a hostel, yeah. We got robbed. Like our backpack with our most important, most valuable stuff like camera, passports, GoPros, like I don't even like chargers, everything that we really needed and that was most expensive to us. That backpack got stolen out of our car that was parked in the parking lot of the hostel. That was also secured. There was lots of cameras around and it still got stolen.
That was a really bad day. I think we lost about $4,000 of belongings. So yeah, whew.
That really sucked. So if you can try to avoid dodgy parking spaces.
Yeah, and always take your important belongings, like the really expensive, with you. And don't leave your backpack unattended, because that's something we accidentally did. It was unfortunately for us because we were actually checking out.
Yeah, we were putting all our stuff from the week in the hostel in the car, and in between we must have left it unlocked for just a few seconds. And yeah, that was enough.
It was enough to steal that. Since that part, we didn't trust hostels anymore, so we basically also rented Airbnbs, because then you only have your place for your stuff and then you can put your belongings where you want in the Airbnbs.
Yeah.
So that was really something we did for our safety, our comfort. A good tip to check out some Airbnbs.
Yeah,
because,
especially like as a couple.
Yeah.
Because the couple rooms in a hostel are so expensive, like crazy. So when we stayed in the hostel, we stayed in just a 4-dorm bedroom because it was too expensive otherwise.
Yeah.
So in this case, an Airbnb is really handy and very safe.
Yeah, so keep in mind, guys, don't leave your stuff unattended. Australia is a beautiful country, but there are also some downsides in Australia, and particularly, yeah, flies. So yeah.
Yeah, you wouldn't really think about that when you think about Australia. You think about wallabies, koalas, big spiders, but there's also lots and lots of flies, especially along the west coast of Australia. There's so many of them that you can't even eat, you can't even cook, you can't even open your mouth.
It's not in all locations of Australia. It depends on the seasons also, where you're going. So yeah.
Yeah, what you can do is try to you can try to avoid them. But if you're still stuck in them, you can use those fly nets. They're really the best investments that we've made, I think.
Yeah, we learned that the hard way. For example, we were like going for a hike for a couple of hours, and it was so bad. Like, for example, my backpack, it was covered with flies everywhere. And
what you also can do is just check the camping apps and read the comments of people who recently traveled there, and they're probably going to talk about flies if they're really bad. So when you're looking for a location, because it can really depend on the location, you can go like a few miles further and there'll be no flies. So really check what they're talking about, so you know what to expect at least.
yeah, that's really important. And don't be fooled, that's not only in the woods. It's also perfectly possible if you're going to a beach location where you think, oh, this is so beautiful here, we're gonna swim, I'm gonna enjoy, drink something, take a beer, I don't know, whatever, or drink a wine. And yeah, forget that. That's not gonna happen. Buy it, just buy it, guys.
So Australia has a lot of different climates. So before you go somewhere, always check the weather. It's a country that has a tropical climate, it has like a Mediterranean climate. So really check before you're going somewhere what the situation is. If there's any floods going on, if there's any storms, tornadoes, because it could all happen in there in just one country. You don't want to end up camping somewhere and then being in a big storm, or driving somewhere and the middle of the road is like blocked because there's like floods. So always check it. There's lots of good weather apps out there, and yeah, definitely check these out before you go camp somewhere. That can make a really big difference.
Avoid cities.
Yeah, don't spend too much time in the cities. It's too expensive.
City is gonna stay city, and I mean, you're gonna see a lot of buildings, and if you want to see a lot of tourist places, yeah, then you should probably go to the city, and you're gonna spend a lot of money as a tourist.
Yeah, Australia has so much more to offer than just the cities. You have to go to the outback, to the beaches, to the countryside, experience all these different types of cultures. That's the real Australia, not the bricks and the walls and the big shopping streets.
You should be going to the national parks. Don't stay long in hostels, because that's a trap. You're probably spending way much money on sleeping in the hostel than finding probably a job, and then you're gonna tell yourself that you're gonna enjoy it, but actually you don't. What else is important is you need to have a camera. The camera is really important in here. I mean, if you have your smartphone, or you have a GoPro, or you have a DSLR, use it, buy it. The nature in Australia is really beautiful, and you want to go into national parks, take some beautiful sceneries with waterfalls and talk about it. And the reason why you need a GoPro, and I suggest you buy a dome for that GoPro. For example, if you go snorkeling in beaches, you need to have something that you can capture the moment and then think about back in your time.
Enjoy your time.
Yeah, enjoy it and be present in the moment. That's really important.
Yeah, and don't let yourself or your mood get down when things don't go according to plan.
In the meantime, guys, we hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a like if you like this, and subscribe to our channel if you want to go and see more stuff of us in the future. So yeah.
All right.
See you guys.
Bye.